time you've actually been on stage together for about 10 years at the same time?
It's about, I think the last time we was on stage together was, there was a 10 Days to Shoot the World Empress thing in London. Yeah, this is a pub thing, not a jazz thing. Yeah, that was like, I mean, that was the living, and that was going to be last, and Penn cocked it up because he forgot how to do it.
Yeah, the amazing thing with that was that all the years we did that, I don't know whether anyone's ever noticed, the first verse has got 2 extra lines. And it took me all the time until we redid it to realise that. And so
technically you did it wrong in the first place.
Yeah, I've been doing it wrong for 30 years.
So Steve, you're about to put a book out.
Sorry?
You're about to do a book, an autobiography?
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's taken me about 20 years to get around to doing it.
20 years to write it, or live it?
No, getting around to doing it, because I thought, because I always get this thing where who's going to be interested in what, you know, I've done, or it's this I don't know, we call it self-depreciating or whatever. And I tried writing about myself, and I can't, it's really hard. And then I got stuck in certain words and stuff like that. So then I went to see Henry Golding's at Birmingham a couple of years ago, and I met this bloke called Spark. He was the stage manager at Shepherd's Bush Empire, and I'd done that. And he gave me a book of poetry, he did like prose that he did. And it's very similar to the way that I write. So I said to him, he was going to ghostwrite it with me, so yeah. And it's about to come out.
And there's been quite a lot of books, well not a lot of books, but a few books about Crass. Well, one book is George Berger book.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of talk about Crass going on in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
What's interesting for me is it's about the people in Crass, not so much about... When Crass was going, it was more like a unit that made records.
Well, yeah, for me it was important to do this book because I wanted, because my take on Crass was never, like, you read books like the George Berger one and you read Penn's bits and all sort of political and like, you know, sound really good and clever, and then you read my bits and I'm just an idiot, sort of, you know, bar mate's arse or something, and, which I do. So, and so I, you know, with this book, it ain't going to be, you know, front cover, back cover about Crass. It's about how I grew up, what got me into that, what music I grew up through, what I actually felt about Crass. You know, my own personal thing, not the party Crass line about it, about how I still get dreadful stage fright and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's really, and I was as honest as possible, so I come across the right pillar in some bits, but that's me. You know, we're all just human. You know, we're not perfect.
I don't know to give away too much of the book, but what is your take on Crass and how different is it from the perception of what Crass was? I mean, there's hints of it in the George Berger book,
yeah.
That the interview he did with you is quite different from what people perceive as Crass.
Well, I was always out for a good time, and my idea of being in a band, I mean, when me and Penn first started Crass, we didn't think it was going to get further than the Garden Gate. I mean, it just didn't think we were ever going to be doing gigs, and certainly didn't think that we'd put out records and become as big as we did and all that sort of stuff. But all the way through it, I was still stuck in that thing of like, oh, you know, I want to have a laugh, you know, it's got to be fun, and it was fun, you know, at the beginning. But then, I think around about stations and then the minor strike came along and then it started getting really, really serious. And that's when I sort of stopped. I stopped writing songs because I couldn't, the songs I wanted to write about, oh, and all this sort of stuff didn't fit with what Crass were doing at that time, and I found it really difficult. So, yeah.
Penny, for you, is when people dissect Crass and personalise it, is it difficult for you, or do you like this kind of process that seems to be going on in the books coming out?
Well, my own view is really that when we existed as a band, we were almost a machine. We were invulnerable. And that's how we organised ourselves. We were deliberately a machine. Stuff didn't break within the sort of line that we created. And that was a very deliberate statement of not our power, but of a unified power. I mean, I have to say, my position, I don't like being on the stage talking about my life, because we've all got a life, and each of our lives is as important as each other's. And there's nothing special about me or Steve or John. So I feel uncomfortable about that to start. But with the band, we were really a body of people. Now, and it's quite obvious, you know, like, I sort of feel now, looking back, that I deprived Steve, of, you know, really what most kids of 17 or 18 want to be doing.